Did you just open the door for that lady? What is wrong with you? Don't you know how misogynistic that is? There's this recurring nightmare that usually hits when I'm at a point in my life when I feel like I've been spinning my wheels instead of making any kind of progress. It starts with my wake-up alarm going off when it's still dark. I'm exhausted and my whole body feels heavy. This is one of those nightmares, where it's hard to move and the lights in the room don't work. There's always a reason for it in the dream. Burnout bulb, can't get my eyes open, something like that. I can get my phone to light up for a second, but it won't stay lit. But I know the layout of the room, so it's not a big problem. I grab my glasses and my phone, get out of bed, and stumble blindly forward. I figure getting out of the room and getting to coffee will solve everything. When I reach for the door, my hand hits the wall instead. I fumble around a bit and realize I'm not standing in front of the door at all. I figure I just moved a bit in the wrong direction. I try using my phone's light. It stays on long enough to show me that the door is a short distance away, then goes out. I start feeling along the wall for the door frame. After longer than it should have taken for me to find it, I light up my phone again. It stays on just long enough for me to look around and see that I've passed the door and I'm in the corner on the other side of it. I orient toward the door and head that way as my phone goes out. I reach for the handle and... Ow. Lighting up my phone again, I see that I had gotten confused and run back into the same corner. I can nearly reach the door frame, even in this position, so as the light's going out, I turn and put my fingertips as close to it as I can. I step forward, both hands touching the wall, sliding my fingers toward the door frame, and a few seconds later... The light from my phone briefly shows me that I've somehow passed the door and gotten all the way around the room. I am now approaching the corner from the other wall with my back to the door itself. Now I am frustrated and angry. How the hell did I do that without noticing I was touching the door or any of the other corners? While my light is on, I lean way back, far enough to get my fingertips on the door frame. As I do, I turn around to face it. I can still see it. As I reach for it, my phone light goes off. This time I have not moved a single step, and I know I did not go back to sleep. I turn on my phone light, and sure enough, I am in the same spot. Now I'm a little scared. I put the tips of my fingers of one hand in the corner and stretch out to reach the door with my other hand. I can't quite get to the door handle, only the frame, but I can at least feel it there. With that to guide me as the light goes out, I slide along, reaching for the handle. Corner! This continues with small variations until I realize it's a nightmare and wake myself, or I fully panic and start running, then smack into the corner hard enough to disrupt the dream, and I wake with my skin crawling. Not at the sense of being trapped, but at the sense of being made wholly, completely ineffective in the face of an otherwise perfectly ordinary situation. It may not seem like much of a nightmare, right? I mean, there's no scary monster trying to kill me, no impending doom approaching the room to create any urgency to escape. It's not on fire, or filling with water, or losing air. It's not a public display like underwear dreams, or a guilt trip like late for school or work dreams. There is only a complete lack of potential for anything I do to affect the outcome of the moment. That is the entirety of the nightmare, the ultimate torment. It isn't the situation itself that horrifies me. It is that nothing I do in the situation makes any difference at all. This is the feminist narrative on sexual violence in a nutshell. In it, women are defined as perpetual victims, from birth to death by virtue of our sex. We're presumed and expected to remain entirely trapped in that identity regardless of our actual circumstances, actions, and experiences. We are not allowed to refuse, and if we defy that rule, our refusal will be punished, or even worse, disregarded. It does not suit the needs of our self-proclaimed feminist benefactors to allow us that refusal. What a cruel, mercenary thing feminism's victim narrative is. A thing I hate with a seething mad passion that boils my guts like molten lava. Imagine spending your entire life being admonished from on high that your actions do not matter. That you live in an environment that continually funnels you into inescapable corners, and there is nothing you can, or even should, do about it. In fact, if you question the inevitability of the situation, shine a light to prevent yourself and others like you from being cornered, and seek to come up with an escape plan for times when it happens anyway, your peers will shame and ostracize you for it. They'll hate you, non-person you, for no other reason than because your ideas aren't part of their corner narrative. Imagine being told your whole life that you have to be defenseless at all times because someone else's political narrative relies on your vulnerability, and you're accused of being a monstrous predator should you refuse. Feminist solution to the fear they claim we all carry is not to light the way for women. They want us stumbling around in the dark, lost and unable to avoid ending up in those corners, crying out to them for help. They do not want women to believe we can help ourselves. Their solution is not guidance to help women trapped in corners to find their way out, toward the door, and certainly not for the door to be opened. They do not want women freed from that environment. They want to make careers out of advocating to pad the room so that cornered women won't be injured when they keep running into the same walls over and over. They want to be able to claim to have opened new doors for women when all they've done is find new corners for us to occupy. They strive to convince young women this is how the world is. One giant darkened room where no matter what you do, you find yourself stumbling, lost, and cornered, dependent on feminist initiatives to keep you from being battered and bruised by the walls you can't avoid running into, or at least sympathize with you every time it happens. And this is what they call empowerment. Learned helplessness is empowerment. War is peace. Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. Frailty is power, and incompetence is achievement. Welcome to the mentality of modern feminism, you misogynistic bastards. Complaints will be filed as soon as it's socially, politically, and maybe financially convenient for the complainant to speak out.